Welcome back if one of the Better Trouble Plays YouTube channel. Today is Friday, December 20th, and I'm back with a pretty decent Friday night slate of games that we have here. We're going to be breaking down two games. One of them will be a top 25 match between Dayton and Cincinnati. Before we do that, let's take a look at the plays that we had on Wednesday. I did break these down on the NBA side for Thursday's video, but I didn't want to take anything on Thursday night in college basketball, mainly because I couldn't watch anything. But there was also really no good matchups, and I didn't feel confident in anything. So we're just going to break these games down one more time. The 1-1 plays up top. We had Michigan -2.5. They absolutely crumbled going up against Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma scored 20 points in a 5-minute span the second half, and from there it was just cake. Oklahoma made shots at the end. Michigan fouled on the three. Oklahoma tied it up and then made the end, won the game. The winner was Xavier, +13.5 against UConn, almost won the game, lost in overtime. And I was wrong about Zach Freemantle. He was missing the game. The thing that happened there was I go to covers for my player prop insurance, I guess to say, but for my player injuries in college basketball. Turns out they weren't updating it anymore, and I just saw Xavier no injuries, and then I found another website that said, yeah, Zach Freemantle exited the last game, 4 minutes left, going to be an out for an extended period of time. But good thing it didn't come and bite me back in the ass. We did take the win in that one. Player props that we had. Ryan Conwell was a loss. I did say over 2.5, but I only take what I bet. And I bet the over 3.5 at plus money. Maybe somebody else got the over 2.5, but it's a loss for me because I took 3.5, got a little bit greedy, did make 3 threes. I think he shot 8 or 9 threes in the game, missed a lot in overtime, which really hurt me. I was just sitting there in overtime, just waiting for one more to fall. Just never happened. So I'm going to take the loss because I'm a greedy bastard. Don't cuss. What was the win? Daniel Wolf was the win for Michigan. Had 15 points. He had 12, felt like the entire game. I was just waiting for that bucket as well. It finally happened later in the game against the Oklahoma Sooners. So we'll take the 2-2 day. We are going to move on to Friday. We have a pretty good game here. We have St. John's going up against Providence. I'll give you guys a second to look at the numbers there. Big East battle. St. John's is a good team. And if you may have saw this on the member side, I took DePaul. Plus, it was like 13.5 going up against St. John's on the road. I made it the game of the year, and I lost. And I'm not afraid to talk about my losses. I'm also not afraid to talk about my wins. So you guys should know that by now. I don't brag too much about the wins, but I definitely kick myself whenever I'm down on the losses because, I bet it, you bet it. If you lose money off of my advice. I think the best thing to do, though, is to talk about the losses because it makes me better, it makes me work harder, and it makes me find better winners. So St. John's kills me against DePaul because I didn't think St. John's is that good. Turns out St. John's is a very good team. Obviously have a great head coach, one of the best college basketball coaches of all time. They're scoring 85 points per game. This Providence offense cannot keep up. They're going to have to rely on the defense. That's not going to happen because Bryce Hopkins, their leader, the guy that's scoring 20 points per game for them, most likely not going to be playing in this game. He is questionable coming in. That is why we're seeing this line continue to go up and up and up for St. John's. I think it's right now -6 on the road in the shoe. That just tells me Bryce Hopkins is not going to be playing. So I'm going to go with St. John's here, -6. I do think they're going to win this game fairly easily. I'm going to give respect to the home court for Providence, but I'm going to take St. John's -6. I think they are the overall better team. They have been playing extremely low over the last 4 games. They lost to Georgia. And other than that, they are, I believe, on a 5 or 6 game winning streak. And I think Georgia is going to be a problem. Every team in the SEC is going to be a problem this season. But Georgia has been taking down some good teams lately. Georgia's a team to look at for maybe the future if I can find a Georgia game later on. But I don't think this Providence team will be able to keep up with St. John's. Providence has also lost 2 of the last 3 games to St. Bonaventure. Rhode Island only win was against DePaul in overtime. And they really should have lost that game as well. So that makes 5 losses in the last 7 games for this Providence team. They're just trending in the wrong direction. So I'm going to go with St. John's in this game as the play, -6. Next game, we have Dayton going up against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, top 25 team. Dayton, top 25 team. Only difference between the two? Cincinnati hasn't played hardly anybody. Dayton has played everybody. Cincinnati this season has their best win going up against Xavier. Their worst loss, which is their only loss, was against Villanova. Villanova is not a good team. Plus, they have one of the worst coaches in college basketball with Kyle Neptune. If you know, you know. If you don't know, go watch Kyle Neptune coach for Villanova. But Cincinnati this season with 1 loss, they haven't played anybody. They played Georgia Tech, I guess. Other than that, it's been, as the Green Bay coach would say, nobody university. So not sure if Cincinnati is going to be able to keep up in this game with Dayton. I am going to take Dayton against the spread. This final score is incorrect. I don't know why it's like that. I think Dayton, when I looked, was plus 3.5. They are going to be on the road, but Dayton, they love to play scrappy basketball. They love to play defensive basketball. I think we're going to see that in this game. Cincinnati also loves to do that. So I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I think it's one that Dayton can possibly win. Dayton is the exact opposite of the Cincinnati team. They have played number 12 North Carolina, number 5 Iowa State, number 2 UConn, and number 6 Marquette. Now they're playing number 19 Cincinnati. So that makes 5 top 20 matchups that Dayton has already played this season, and they have been able to win against both top 10 matchups in UConn and Marquette. They also barely lost to North Carolina by 2, so this is a very good team. They can score well, and really they can do it both ways. If Dayton wants to get into a shootout, they can do that. They can score a lot of points. If they also want to get into a gritty game like Cincinnati's probably going to want to do, they can also do that. So I can see this game being like 56-53 in favor of Dayton. I can also see this being 81-82 in favor of Dayton. So I'm going to take Dayton with the points. I do think they will be the underdog in this game, probably plus 2.5, plus 3.5. But yeah, I'm going to take Dayton as the play. Let's go to the player props here. We are going to be taking a player from Cincinnati, Jizzle James, the son of Edgerrin James. Over his total points, 10.5 to 12.5 is going to be the play here. Not the best shooter on this team, but he is very close to being the best shooter on this team. On the season, Jizzle James, 12.3 points per game. Not the best shooter on this team, not really by a long shot, but he is very aggressive, and that's what I love, especially going up against a team like Dayton. We are going to need some scrappy buckets, and Jizzle James hardly ever operates from the outside. We're going to be inside the arc in this game, going to be a lot of mid-range jumpers, going to be getting himself to the rim, most likely getting himself to the free throw line as well. But on the season, Jizzle James, only a 46% shooter. The team as a whole is shooting 50%. Everybody in the starting lineup besides one player is shooting better than Jizzle James, but Jizzle James does not care. He has the most shot attempts on this team this season, and that's what I love. Shot volume, it's kind of like LaMelo Ball. He's not shooting a very good field goal percentage this season, LaMelo Ball, but he's scoring 30-plus points per game because he's shooting 30-plus times per game. So that's kind of the same thing here with Jizzle James. It's not a whole lot of points, over 10.5 points to 12.5 points. And you do see the last game there, 11 attempts, 2 points. He did not make a field goal attempt. He did not make a shot from the field. So we're going to see him be probably extra aggressive in this game, get everything inside the paint, a lot of layups, a lot of contact layups, get himself to the free throw line. Best way for a shooter to gain some confidence, make some from the charity stripe. So I think Jizzle James is the play in this game. Pretty low player prop over his total points as the play. We are going to go to St. John's going up against Providence. I'm going to take RJ Lewis, the guard, quote-unquote guard, over 5.5 to 6.5 rebounds. This one will probably be 5.5 if I had to guess. Providence this season has not been a very good shooting team. They're actually one of the worst teams in the Big East at putting the ball in the hole. And I do think we're going to see RJ Lewis and this entire St. John's team clean up on the glass. St. John's is a very physical team. They like to bang on the inside. 42.3 rebounds per game as a team. RJ Lewis, the second leading rebounder on this team as a guard. And I say a guard, but really he plays like a forward. He's 6'7". He's a big body. He's very lanky. He is going to get some boards in this game going up against Providence. Also, if Bryce Hopkins is out, that's going to be a massive blow for Providence. Not only for the 17 points per game he gets, but the big body down low. Providence is already pretty small this season with him out. That's a 6'9" plus guy that's going to be off the floor as well. So I even love this more if he doesn't play. But I'm going to go RJ Lewis here over his total rebounds. He is the leading scorer for this St. John's team, 17.1 points per game. But like I said, 6.5 rebounds per game going up against a Providence team who does not shoot well from the field. He's also coming off this DePaul game, 5+ rebounds in that one. He has had 5+ rebounds in 3 of the last 4 games as well. So he's crashing the glass. And I do think Providence is going to miss a lot of shots in this game. I think they're shooting 43.4% on the season. That is not a good field goal percentage as a team. So I'm going to take him over his total rebounds as the final play of the day. Let's go to the recap graphic. We're going to take St. John's. I believe they're -6 right now going up against Providence. Dayton against the spread, I believe they're plus 3.5 right now going up against Cincy. But again, I'm going to take all these plays in the morning when I wake up. RJ Lewis Jr., over 5.5 rebounds, played up to 6.5, but I really think this one might be a little bit lower, maybe 4.5. I think 5.5 is a pretty good line for that one. Then Jizzle James, over his total points, 10.5 to 12.5. I expect this to be 10.5, especially after that 0 or 2-point game, I guess, not making anything from the field in the last game. I do think it's going to be at 10.5 for the final play of the day. Guys, that's going to do it for the NCAA basketball picks and props for Friday, December 20th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please share dropping this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.